In 1901, Governor Henry Gage signed a bill establishing the California Polytechnic School in San Luis Obispo. This year, Cal Poly is celebrating its 100th anniversary by combining the creative minds of two campuses and producing one brilliant float.
I want you to meet two interesting and creative young men who are committee chairs for this Rose Parade float building project from Cal Poly. We've got Michael Austin, who's from the Pomona campus. And then we have Robert Mijares, who's from the St. Louis Obispo campus. And what they do is the school constructs their float in two pieces. His campus does one part, your campus does the other. They drag it here to Pasadena, and then you super glue it together. Is that how it works, Michael?
Well, after we decide on the design, we split up the project, and so we built on ours down here in Pomona, then San Luis Obispo works up there on their campus.
All right, well, you've been doing this 54 years now. The school's been doing this 54 years. I'm going to say, who's your plastic surgeon? And so you kind of have it, I would imagine, down to a science, sort of.
Well, yeah, there's nothing like a couple welds or a big hammer can't fix, so, you know.
Okay. I know you're wondering, Gail, what am I looking at? Well, what you're looking at is a turtle, actually, with all sorts of dry goods glued on him. This is the kind of sample setup that the Floral Productions Department uses. I'm with the chairs of that committee, Dawn Moyer and Erica Froelich. Erica from the Pomona campus of Cal Poly, Dawn from the San Luis Obispo campus, and this is sort of like a painter's palette where they have all different samples of colors, but instead you've got the dry goods, so when people start to decorate, they'll get to see outside of a bucket what the materials look like, and you can tell them where the stuff is going to go.
Right, exactly. Like this right here is pampas grass. We're going to be using that on the skunk this year, and also on our ferret.
All right. Now, what intrigues me, because part of this is a cake, is any of this going to go around or on the cake portion of the float?
Well, our cake is going to be white mums, and then we're going to have red roses on the icing part for the decorative roses.
And all these materials are natural because those are the rules. Yep. There's nothing here that's plastic or anything.
Right, absolutely. Everything has to be natural, not color treated or dyed in any sort.
And does it make it difficult because this thing is constructed, the float's constructed in two different campuses, you know, because we talked to the committee chairs about that. They say they've got this down to a science. They've been doing this 54 years, but, you know, that part where they put it together, that isn't a problem to decorate.
No, not at all. You can't even tell once it's ready to be decorated that it's two different halves. It's all one float by the time it gets to this point.
This handsome young man is Steve Bell of Cal Poly. Now, he's the design chair. He has a major headache because you have to worry about the design of the float, make sure everything is in place. He worries about the animation, and I love it that the floats, that metal can move, and he would just like to give us a little sneak peek of how this is going to move.
Yeah, we're very complicated animations on this float right now. We got the fire extinguisher, and we also have this ferret right here. It's really hard to make it move. We just sit here and shake it.
That's Steve's version of a joke. The fun they have at Cal Poly. Very good.
Yeah,
but seriously, Rose Parade route, 5.5 miles. Things will be off of hydraulic pumps and
things will be moving off of hydraulic pistons and pivots and all those great stuff.
Now we're with two key players when it comes to float construction for Cal Poly. These gentlemen are chairs of the construction department. Without them, there's no float. Now, we have Dave McWilliam from the Pomona campus and Matt Wiersma of the San Luis Obispo campus. You're telling me that you guys are responsible for the construction of the entire, as you described, Dave, superstructure.
Right. Everything that holds the float up, all the two engines that drive and animate the float. Sometimes we build some of the animation mechanisms, sometimes it goes to design. Yeah, we're responsible for fixing everything. It's our fault if anything breaks.
Yes. But it sounds like a lot of work. These things are awfully heavy. You're working with steel.
Yes.
And you got to forge and all that stuff.
Weld and cut and torch. That's all the fun stuff, though.
You like that?
It's all the high power stuff.
Now, I understand that Matt kind of protects the project because you drive.
Yes, I drive.
So that way you can kind of check from the inside the quality of the crew's work.
Yeah.
And Dave's work.
It has to be good or I'm not driving it.
Well, I want to congratulate all of these young people, chairs of the various committees from Cal Poly, from the Pomona and San Luis Obispo campuses, who've continued a 54-year-old tradition of building their float in 2 pieces at 2 different campuses and putting it all together for a wonderful Big Blowout birthday float that's going to be featured this year. Here's a little something that fell off while I was getting up here. I'm sorry about that, but I know they can handle it. Congratulations, it's a great float. I think the crew's getting a little hungry. They're ready to get out of here, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Now let's strike up the band and join the 2001 Rose Parade in progress.